So, hey guys, welcome to what I believe is vlog number 4 on the 7th of March 2023. Just quickly thought I'd chuck this one together and do some quick topics. So, just a few questions and a few things I've been chatting to people around glute exercises. People want some suggestions around glute exercises, free weights versus cables for shoulders. That's my second topic. Third one is different grips. So, looking at different grips for exercises and why I should use them. A quick chat around my new training program, machines versus free weights, so advantages of each, and why I have a deload. So let's get into it. And if there's any questions I get pop up during my stream, I will chuck them in. So top question was glute exercises. Just before this, I had a person message me what some really good glute exercises I want to chuck into a program. Basically, the first thing that comes to my mind when you say glute exercises is like hip thrusts or glute bridges. I think they're originally doing glute bridges. I suggested, obviously, the next thing above that would be a machine or a barbell hip thrust. And there's lots of benefits to that as a functional movement because it'll increase your functional lift, so like your deadlift and your squat. Another new one I just seen recently is a single leg hip thrust, or you can use a dumbbell and also perform it, which is quite nice. A few other suggestions are glute kickback machines. I've used that in the past. It's really good for a warm-up, especially if you're going into a bigger movement, chucking some glutes at the start or at the end. You can also use, I've seen women use like a D handle or an attachment on a cable and using it as a kickback, glute kickback. But generally for guys, 1 to 2 exercises for glutes is sufficient. For women, 3 to 4, that's fine, obviously. But you can also train them indirectly. So looking at squats or deadlifts, you'll also get some glute activation in them. So depending if you want to chuck in a squat or a deadlift, you'll also get some glute work done in. So there's about 4 or 5 different glute exercises you can try. If you've got any questions, let me know. Happy to chat around it. The next one was free weights versus cable for shoulders. I forget where this one popped up, but I thought I should probably mention about it. So basically, let's talk about an example of a dumbbell lateral raise. So this is a dumbbell lateral raise. You're raising your dumbbells out to the side. You're working the side of primarily your shoulder. This is the medial delt. That's the front anterior delt, and that's the rear posterior delt. So all the delts. Why would you use a cable, like a cable lateral raise versus a dumbbell? Some people may already know this, but obviously the one muscle that you're working in the background is your traps. And delts, your medial delts do not need to be trained by heaps of weight. There's no kind of real benefit. It's a muscle that reacts better to higher reps in time and attention for growth. And more from a bodybuilding standpoint, it's kind of handy to train it under tension. So if you're doing a dumbbell, you'll get more trap activation. So you're raising upwards, where if you're leaning to the side or even just holding on to a standard cable machine, raising that, you're driving outwards, not up. The gravity is working sideways and not upwards. So that's just a big bonus of doing it with a cable, because obviously gravity is fighting against you, but with a cable, you can go out. So basically, if you don't want any trap activation, stick with cables. But if you want a little bit of traps in there, stick with dumbbell. And I'd recommend if you do dumbbell, don't ego lift. Don't go be doing 20s, even 10 kilos. 5 kilos, 15 kilos is fine. Don't visualize driving up either. Visualize driving out. And don't hyperextend your shoulders. Don't go past this point because that'll automatically be your traps taken over. So go up to here. And a good little tip is raise your elbow up higher and drive from your elbows, not your hands. So don't have your hands going up. Drive from your elbow. So I hope that helped. Third topic was different grips. So in lifting, there's a few different grips. Obviously, this is your neutral grip. This is overhand. I always get these two confused, pronated, supinated. So pronated, I've always think prone, lying down flat, so flat. And then you got supinated, so underhand. So different terminology, so underhand. And then you've got neutral, so that's your neutral. You've also got mixed grip. So this is mixed grip and this is mixed grip. And generally you see that in a what's it called, deadlift. So people do mixed grip for deadlifts. Reason people don't like mixed grip, or some people do really like it, like myself, is imbalances because you're using more bicep and more tricep for that one. Mixed grip has good and bad reputation around it. There's also one more grip, which I don't really use. It's a hook grip, so you're hooking your thumb over and using your thumb, which is the strongest grip, but it's also the most painfulest grip, the hook grip. So the one thing I wanted to talk about is why I use different grips and what you can learn from it. And I remember my coach, he's a legend. I had a chat with him a few months ago around the barbell row. So if any of you have done the barbell row, I just want you to stop and think, have you done overhand, or have you done underhand, or have you done mixed grip? What you may realize from this, and it might not apply to everyone, but most of you, is if you do overhand versus underhand, you may be more dominant in certain areas. For me, I used to always do underhand, and I see a lot of people do overhand, and I was like, why is that? I'm really bicep dominant, so biceps are one of my strengths. Some people are more lat and back dominant, so overhand is more their preferred choice. Even with different movements, you see people do different grips. It's probably because they've got either imbalances or strengths in other areas to you. So yeah, wide grips, close grips. Every grip will have a different advantage. Even on lat pull down, you see people do underhand, overhand, wide grip, close grip. There's subtle differences there on the angles, so that's just something to be aware of, the different grips. And they believe that some people believe that obviously overhand has limitations around strength. That's why you use your hook grip or you use your mixed grip. Or there's the alternative of using wraps. So there's so many wraps out now. There's figure 8 wraps. There's your straight wrist wraps, wrist support. There's so many types, but you can get some pretty cheap wraps for about $30-40, and the basic ones will be fine if you want wraps. But big argument is like, do you want to not use wraps and build your grip strength, or do you want to actually just forget lift strength for a minute and just actually build the muscle you're trying to train? That's one big debate that I always have with people. Like, it's back day, it's not forearm day, so should you just lift heavy for back and just not worry about it, or should you just take them off and just build a stronger grip? That is the big $1 million question. So I've started just recently a new program. So I just thought I'd chat recently around that. So basically doing a 4 to 5 upper lower split, and slight variation I've just recently made to it is I'm doing a top set with a little bit of strength in it. So generally 6 to 8, maybe 10 reps, and then back off sets. So lighter, say 30-40% maybe lighter, more hypertrophy sets. And it's just that way I get a bit of strength in there and a bit of hypertrophy, and doing a bit of extra core accessory work on the last day, which I've done as an optional day, because sometimes having that 5th day doesn't always suit for me. So having an optional 5th day is actually going to work really good as far as how I feel and time-wise stuff. So that's just a quick update. I'll probably chat more about that as I get through it. Machines versus free weights. So I think I said a few people at Darren's Cryo. There's heaps of new Panada machines. The good thing is obviously they're really cool. They feel amazing, good mechanical tension. One little thing you want to look out for is if you're using a machine all the time, you're not really learning any form. Like if you do a squat, you do a bench press, you do a deadlift, you're obviously having to stabilize yourself. You have to engage your core, do all this extra stuff like balance stuff. Even as an example, you see someone that picks up a dumbbell incline press for the first time, their hands are like this, but after they've done it 10 times, they're just like, boom, boom. There's none of this happening. It's because your body adapts. But if you're just doing a chest press machine, you don't have to worry about balancing. You could have your legs up in the air and just be doing whatever. There's no kind of like stabilizing muscles being used. So just watch that you're not getting too overused with the machines. Do some free weights, use some barbell, do some dumbbell, mix it up, even kettlebell. And just the last question for tonight is why have a deload? This is a $1 million debate. Some people don't have them. Those that have started having them can see the benefit in them. I'm used to the same. I used to never have them. But a deload is basically a structured in rest period in training to allow you refresh and come back stronger to progress even more. There's lots of different types. So I've watched a few different videos on this. I love Jeff Nippard, if you don't know. Basically, this is a poor way to do a deload. Let's just take a week off, go to the beach and just eat. By taking a week off, basically you're not remembering any form. You're just forgetting everything, come back a week later, and just you'll be feeling fine, but your performance will actually be lower. If you want to be at your peak performance, look at your program, pretty much half the weight or drop about 30-40%, and then drop the volume about 20 to 30%, roughly, give or take, depending on the person and the type of program they're doing. And then what that allows you to do is perfect your form. So try new things you wanted to try, different elbow positionings, sitting further up on the bench, different things that you couldn't try at a heavier weight because that would be stupid. And it just gives you like a mental refresh so you can actually maintain the muscle memory, so how to perform the exercises. Because if you've taken a week off gym, you come back and you're not where you were. Like if you're sick and you take a week or two off, you come back and you're like, this isn't that easy. So that's kind of why I would have a deload. And I would say every 6 to 8 weeks, everyone's going to be different. So yeah, I hope that this video today was helpful. I'll just make sure there's no questions extra. No, so I think I've answered everything. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you've got any questions you want me to answer in upcoming vlogs, just send them through to me and I'll do my best to answer them. And keep training, guys, and I'll see you in the gym.